Everybody that's anybody in the music business performed live from Studio A.
It's Columbus radio at its finest.
They like it. That's where the support comes from.
I love WCBE, and I can't imagine Columbus without it.
So it's back in action with this new release. We're going to hear all about it, give some tickets away for the show. But let's get warmed up with one, and then we'll come back and catch up.
Sounds good. This one is called Fake Flowers. I live in a mad, mad world. Nothing is quite as it seems. Smoke everywhere I turn. Nobody says what they mean to your face. It's all just fake flowers and sympathy. What you give, what you take, comes around. I won't let you take me down. No, no, you tried burning me to the ground. Don't even make a sound. I don't believe anything that you say. It's such a sad, sad truth. All of the trust here is gone. Now I can see straight through all of your counterfeit charm. Don't you know? It's all just fake flowers and sympathy. Don't you know? What you speak comes around. I won't let you take me down. No, no, you tried burning me to the ground. Don't even make a sound. I don't believe anything that you say. Don't you go speaking my name. I'll never love you the same. You only got yourself to blame. I won't let you take me down. No, no, you tried burning me to the ground. You lie, 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 keep my name out your mouth. Don't even make a sound. I don't believe anything that you say. Hey, oh, I don't believe anything that you say. Oh, hey, keep your fake flowers. I don't believe anything that you say. Oh, hey, keep your fake flowers. I don't believe anything that you say.
Maggie Rose joining us live from Studio A with that song, Fake Flowers. Just so powerful. And it's on the No One Gets Out Alive release and the fourth full-length album. And tonight's show at the A&R Music Bar, we'll have a couple pairs of tickets to give away coming up here shortly. And tell us why this is the album that you always dared yourself to make.
I think it's more personal than any project I've ever put out before. I wrote a lot of these songs during a really difficult time where our livelihood was threatened. In fact, last time I saw you, I think I was just beginning to put this album together. And just a lot of life came at me pretty fast, just like the rest of us during the pandemic. Some relationships just couldn't sustain the pressure of what we were going through. I certainly had a newfound gratitude for getting to tour and do what I love. I had my best friend's father passed away suddenly, and some other things in my family with my uncle having an aneurysm, just like these things that are imminent in
Heavy
life.
stuff, yeah.
And I realized that I couldn't wait around to make something beautiful, and I had to write through these things. And because a lot of these ideas I was starting on my own, just because of the nature of how hard it was to get together and collaborate with other people, I think it just was a more introspective record. And I wanted to make it about swinging for the fences and taking this finite amount of time that we have and making the most of it. And No One Gets Out Alive felt like the perfect title track for that theme.
It's awesome. And you're talking about collaborations. There's some amazing people that helped you out with this, including the connection with Jason Isbell and Amanda Shires, some of those folks from the 400 unit.
Correct. Yeah, I worked with Ben Tanner on my last album, Have a Seat, and he was part of the Alabama Shakes. So when we got back together for our second effort, we were just dreaming up, like, who is the best band that we could put in this room? And Sadler Vaden and Chad Gamble of the 400 unit, Zach Cockrell, who was with him in the Shakes, Peter Levin, who's been a buddy of mine, who plays for the Allman Brothers, and for Amanda Shires, of course, Caitlin Connor and Kyle Lewis of my own touring band. We had Don Hart, who's this legendary string arranger.
Pretty special. How'd that hookup come about?
Just
known for Fish and
Trey Anastasio, and I just became friends with him through Osiris Media, which is the parent company of the podcast that I host. We worked together on another podcast called Sugar Maple. He actually reached out to me over Twitter, having heard one of the songs from my last album, and of course my husband, being the Fish fan that he is, he saw that name Don Hart come across. He was like, oh my gosh, you have no idea who this is. And we became friends, and I started playing him some of the songs I was considering cutting, and he was like, I'd really love to just be involved. And he sat through the entire tracking process, just observing what we were putting together, and I think dreaming up what would inevitably be these string parts.
Yeah.
And we even implemented the Fames Orchestra project out of Macedonia for two of these songs, which was a 64-piece ensemble that, because of the pandemic, we got to record them remotely because Don was able to notate the music so accurately. And
That's amazing. Yeah.
This is something that they kind of got together and figured out how to do to keep that body of music working. And they work on albums like mine and a bunch of big films that are looking for this huge cinematic production. So it just was a dream come true.
Yeah,
to be able to work with that team of people.
It's amazing. The record is amazing, and it's called No One Gets Out Alive. If you're just joining us, Maggie Rose in the studio. We're happy to have her back. We'll do our first giveaway coming up, and we'll talk some more after this next song. She's got a couple more for us. And what's this next one going to be?
It's called Too Young. I got to write it with Natalie Hemby, who's one of the 4 High Women. And we both moved to Nashville when we were in our teens, so we're kind of rehashing some of the ageism that we've encountered. Sure. And it was a tough one to tackle, but it was a very therapeutic day when we wrote it together. Oh, thank you.
There, if you want it so badly, you better do what they say. Time, you got all of the time in the world. It's too early for you to know anything. When they said you're too young to someone else to conquer, 'cause you grow up and they let you go and leave you with the life that you're no longer too young, too young. It's yellow lights in-betweens and not quite, taking caution while the whole world passes by. So you fall out of style, find your way after a while, and you forgive yourself for taking their advice. When they said you're too young to know, you left the world for someone else to conquer. 'Cause you grow up and they let you go and leave you with the light that you're no longer too young, too young. You bite your tongue while grown-ups talk. You want to run, but still you walk, and all at once, before you know, they say you're too old, but you're not too old. If they say you're too young to know, don't leave the world for someone else to conquer. If you grow up and they let you go, well, don't believe the lie that you're no longer. No, don't believe the lie that you're no longer young. You're still young.
It's Maggie Rose live from Studio A. That was amazing. And it's another one from the new one, No One Gets Out Alive. And I'm sure it'll be available at the show tonight on vinyl and all that good stuff.
It sure will. You got it.
If you don't have it already. But it's the fourth full-length album. It's amazing. And the show tonight will be amazing with the full band. And Fancy Haygood will be opening. Tell us about Fancy.
Oh, he's the best. He's we've had a similar kind of trajectory where we both were signed to major labels when we were really young, which is, kind of the basis behind the influence of the song I just played. And we were thrust into like these big powerful groups of people saying like, this is how you do it. And I think we kind of got overwhelmed and weren't really able to find our voice at an early age. And we're both now at this place where we're doing it exactly the way we want to. We have a lot of experience touring, and we know who we are now. And he's just so fun to watch. He's got his very own unique perspective that you hear clearly in his songs and his stories. And he's hilarious. I feel really lucky that I get to bring people like him along on our tour. Selfishly, I feel like I'm like benefiting from just being entertained by him all the time as well.
But doors are at 7 o'clock. He'll go on first, and we'll do our first giveaway coming up. Or let's just do one right now. 614-821-9223. That's 821 WCBE. And you mentioned moving to Nashville when you were in your teens. What was before Nashville? Where did you grow up?
I grew up in Potomac, Maryland, the hotbed of country music. It's right outside D.C., and I always was very lucky. My family was super supportive. They knew from a very early age how much I enjoyed singing. But I got connected with a B Street band. They're a Bruce Springsteen tribute band. And that's when I started singing in bars, and I was like 15 and realized that being a good singer is cool, but connecting with people who are coming out to escape into the music and really latch onto that, to get away from the rigors of life, that was where it really clicked for me. And I started writing I was studying music at Clemson and also trying to record these originals and find my way into the industry. And I got the attention of a big music executive and moved to Nashville in 2008.
And there's lots of stuff with you in Nashville. The Opry playing how many times now?
Like 110, which is crazy because they're
Tell us
about to
about
have.
that and how you're part of a board or a.
I'm on the board of the Nashville Recording Academy chapter, and my big focus is advocacy. So we just helped pass the Elvis Act, which is Tennessee. Proud of them for leading us in something with the progression of AI. This just protects artists and their voices.
That's so cool.
And, you know, we get to go to Capitol Hill, so I get to go back home to where I grew up and talk to different lawmakers with lobbyists and try and get, you know, the playing field a little more level for people who are writing music. And
That's awesome. Thank
with
you for doing that.
DSPs and everything, broadcasters, it's a changing world constantly being terraformed, so we need to make sure that people aren't getting left behind and that they're incentivized to do this.
That's amazing. Thank you so much for your part in that.
It's fun.
That's so cool.
Yeah, It's nice when things actually get passed. So,
Well, thank you for your work and well, among many others, fans out there, but Bill Murray. There was a story about Bill Murray.
Yeah.
Can you share that experience and how you got to meet him? And
we've developed a cute little friendship over the years. I've been playing in a charity golf tournament that he puts together with his brothers. He's one of 9 Murray children. So they have a really tight-knit relationship, and they do a charity golf tournament every year that is, you know, heavily features music. And I met him 6 years ago doing that, and they've invited us back every year, and even the whole band now we're responsible for at least one night of music at that event. And
fun.
he's just as quirky and wild and unpredictable as you could imagine, and super sweet, and of course has always so many nuggets of wisdom to impart on me and what it's like being in the public eye. I don't think anyone could be more in the public eye than he is, so it's just always interesting to hear his perspective.
Sure.
And how he keeps a cool head.
So tell us, was there something growing up you knew that you wanted to perform and sing? You were singing at a young age, but was there something you heard in your household or on the radio that blew you away in an early
Yes.
memory?
Yes. Mary Chapin Carpenter. She just has this easy way about her. I loved her songwriting. Carole King is a huge influence for this record, and that's music that's just been baked into my life. I love how timeless it is. I think Aretha Franklin's voice always stunned me. Just the sheer power of it was overwhelming.
Well, you got some power pipes yourself there.
Thank you. They're waking. They'll be fully awake by tonight. But I also feel I was very lucky to grow up in a time where there were so many divas on the radio. Like it was Whitney Houston and Mariah Carey and, you know, even Christina Aguilera and Barbara Mandrell and Faith Hill and Shania Twain, and just felt like there was this abundance of people to look to that were just celebrated because of their vocals. And I think there's still so many great artists out there now, but that was who was getting all the oxygen. And that was kind of, I think it definitely imprinted on me.
And now younger folks are hearing your voice and being that part. So that's cool. And congratulations on
Thanks to you
everything.
guys. Yeah, we appreciate it.
Well, we appreciate you, and thank you so much for coming back. And we'll do our another giveaway after this song that Maggie takes us out with. It's the new album, No One Gets Out Alive, and another one from the new one.
Yes, and I think this is a nice way to end because so much of the album is just about being present and in the moment, and it's called Only Time Around.
I know I ain't been around that long, but I still be slow. Sometimes I may stumble, don't always get it right. That ain't true of me and you tonight. Let's make this count. This might be our only time around. Ooh. Ooh. Sometimes I may stumble, don't always get it right, but that ain't true of me and you tonight. Let's just take a moment to be right here, right now. It'd be a shame to let each other down. Let's make this count. This might be our only time. This might be our only time around. Ooh. Ooh.
Maggie Rose, live from Studio A. And we have our final giveaway at 614-821-9223.